missing figures fall.
Check 1. Into this mic mostly, but you're going to want to pick up if I'm not directly into it. Check 1, 2, check 1, 2. Make.
Out punches from Sua. He's peppering him with those shots.
There's that kick once again, Jason, that you called earlier. Nice high guard of Sao Gunga blocks the offense of Sua.
It just feels like Fiji it's like he hasn't gotten in any kind of rhythm yet. As Eric mentioned, no sweat. Just kind of marching forward at the moment.
Another combination for Sua.
Nothing really landing there. I mean, great guard from Fiji. He's keeping his guard up. Every once in a while, one of those jabs will sneak through, but
Yeah, it was a tight guard. It didn't look like anything hit him cleanly. I'd like to see Lauren Sua land the leg kick on the exit there.
Reminds me a lot of Cross Hughes a couple of months ago. Didn't wear the damage whatsoever. Could have been the defense of Cross Hughes. It might be the defense of Luke Saugunga right now, Jason.
Because he's coming forward. He's not backing up. He's stalking still, but just still nothing. He's calling Sua forward. He's like, let's go.
Some stellar head movement showcased by Sua.
Yeah, we just saw a bunch of sweat come off his head. Fiji looked like he landed a big shot there. I couldn't see.
My notes were in the splash zone, I will say that.
I feel like Luke has some opportunities if he let his hands go, because Sua's carrying his hands very low.
I feel like it's been over a minute since Fiji threw a punch.
And he's landing hard shots. Sua looks tired.
Sua goes upstairs.
That was a good transition from that body shot to the cross. Fiji's mouth guard came out.
Nice body kick again from that side.
I mean, Sua's game plan so far has been pretty much flawless.
Do we see a different tenor from Luke Saugunga? Fifth and final round between these two heavyweights to decide a champion.
Nice jab from Sua and leg kick.
But again, Saugunga wearing it so well, Eric. It doesn't seem like he has been hit.
Well, Saugunga keeps nodding and smiling when he is getting hit, but he probably should start countering.
Under 2.5 minutes to work.
Still a lot of power in that kick, tired or not.
He's got a great poker face. Those leg kicks have to be hurting. And you can see Fiji breathing heavy out of his mouth too. Both big guys tired right now.
See, he's acknowledging he's getting hit, but he's not hitting back.
Sua attacks from all angles. Back to the body. Combinations upstairs, downstairs.
I like seeing Sua not overly commit to that and put himself in a position where he catches a counter shot there, back right up after he threw those shots.
Between these two fighters, 8 fights, only 1 decision combined in these two careers. It was Luke Saugunga in his last fight, March 10th of 2023.
Hard body kick again. So far, just a great, well-rounded performance. Body, head, leg kicks. I mean, he's doing it all tonight.
Great combination there. He went body, head, body.
Sua continues the restless attack.
There's a good jab.
Fiji has I feel like has the power advantage. He's just not using it or setting anything up with it so far. He's got about just under 40 seconds to try to do something with it.
Now bloodied is Saugunga.
Saugunga's bleeding pretty good from his nose, and there was a big sigh. It's 30 seconds. It's all or nothing here. But Lauren's game plan's just holding. He's doing the right things. This is smart too, because he can't hurt him here.
Down is Saugunga. That is it. Lauren Sua, no judges' scorecards needed. He is the Fierce FC amateur heavyweight champion.
We're going to kick things off in the welterweight division between Marco Gomez and Isaac Liebert. A couple of debuters to kick off the card, Zach.
I mean, I think we see these a lot on Challenger Series. we're gonna find out what it's about. Isaac Liber, obviously, he's coming from Agema. We know what type of room he's coming from. It'll be super fun. Marco Gomez coming from kind of a unknown. His coach Chris Morris used to have a little bit more of a fight team. Kind of went away for a while during COVID. His gym shut down. Now he's back coaching some guys, and he had a couple of guys that were supposed to be on this card. One of which had to withdraw due to a death in the family, unfortunately. But excited to see Marco and excited to see his coach Chris Morris back at shows again. And I think it's entertaining. Talks about the growth of MMA. Chris is somebody that he respected Agema a lot. Is cross-trained there a little bit in the past. And it's just, I think it's fun when you're starting to see the evolution of guys that used to train together. Now their guys are fighting together. It's kind of fun.
All right, we move over to another kind of late replacement, late change to a catch weight at 140 pounds. Callan Curtis facing opposite Dalton Moon. Dalton Moon, another name out of Agema who's been very popular amongst the masses.
Yeah, this one was really interesting. Callan Curtis was originally supposed to fight Ty Monson. Ty unfortunately broke his hand in camp. Teammate of Nate Reinhardt and Jackson DeGrey. Broke his hand, unfortunately, at work. And then, forgive me, Alma, I still can't say your last name.
Faleali'i.
There you go. He just had life get in the way. And, he was a prime example of, some things are more important than amateur fighting, and it's okay. I appreciated him so much with his just effective communication and just letting me know and being honest and upfront when his circumstance with his job and as a single dad, life changed, and some things are more important to me taking care of at home than an amateur fight. And he just wanted to give us as big of a heads up as possible so that we could find a replacement for Dalton. It kind of happened the same within 24 hours that both those things happened. So kind of worked out. We just met right in the middle at a catch weight at 140, and both guys get to stay on the card. No short notice replacements in camp, and I'm excited. I think Callan's a pretty decent grappler, and Dalton's just a scrappy, tough guy is what I hear. So, when you get tough, scrappy grappler and tough, scrappy guy, I think we'll have a pretty entertaining fight.
Yeah, when we're talking about Callan Curtis, he's one of 3 of those price locals on this card. But I also want to mention he watched Mason Sorensen last year at Fierce Challenger Series 6, and that's what inspired him to take this fight. So 1 year removed, we see him make his debut, which is going to be really, really cool. All right, Parker Abeglin is going to be the last debuter to make the walk versus Vincent Vanisi at 205 pounds, Zach.
Yeah, and Parker was supposed to fight Marco Gomez's teammate, who unfortunately had a family member pass away, and he's from Haiti, so he had to go back home to Haiti to wish him well. And then Vincent, one of my teammates at One Hit, he's been begging for a fight anywhere for a while now, and so I said, hey man, might be an opportunity here. Parker and his team, they were comfortable with the matchup, 1 and 2. I'm very interested. I think Parker's a bigger guy. Vincent was aiming to go down to 185, was well on his way to be able to fight at 185 on a full camp. Short notice, we'll do 205. So no weight cut needed for Vince. Parker, I think, is going to have the size. Vince will have the experience. Vince is a really fun. He's a fun fighter. Fights like a true poly, man. He wants to stand and bang, and it'll be a good time. So I'm really excited for that fight. Sorry, I keep looking over there at my board, but I think that fight will be a lot of fun to kick off with some big boys.
No, you talked about Vincent Vanisi kind of chomping at the bit to get a fight. This is his first walk in about 2 years, so very excited to see him make his return. All right, Randy Kopczynski versus Alan Aragon at 170 pounds. This is the largest age discrepancy in Fierce FC history, 24-year age gap between these two. 45 years of age for Randy. As for Alan Aragon, he is 21 years of age.
Well, and Randy is somebody, he hasn't made that walk for 13 years?
It was 2012, I believe.
2012. So 12 years. 12 years he hasn't fought, and works down there in Price as a local in the solar fields, wanted to get on the card, and been seeing him training up at the pit in Salt Lake City too, cross training a little bit. fun striker. That's all I've heard and known about him. I don't know much about him. He's 45 and fun striker, and Allen is a good wrestler. Interesting tidbit though, in Randy's corner will be Steve Ergel. Steve Ergel was in the corner of Tanner Settler, who has since passed. Tanner is the person that beat Allen in his first fight. So Steve kind of feels like they have the recipe to beat Allen. No, it's all fun and good competition, but they feel comfortable with it. So it's going to be really interesting if Randy's going to be able to keep this fight on the feet where he wants it, or if Allen's going to be able to get it to the ground where he is smothering.
Yeah, Randy, a former Golden Gloves boxer. As for Alan Aragon, 4 for 6 on takedowns last time out, 80% control time throughout the entirety of that fight in October. That is going to be a blast.
Down is Trent Miller. He has found his stride right now, and he is looking sharp.
At his stock is as high as anyone's.
That speed, and Trent is in big trouble.
Mafileo going to work.
I just need to go. I just need to fight. I want to be like my big brother Ken.
Do you believe it? Mike Jones back-to-back first-round finishes. There's a hand from hell at Sequatu getting it done in the Maverick Center.
Wow.
Back in the birthplace of Fierce with fireworks forthcoming, this is Fierce Challenger Series 11, presented by Rush Hydro. Hi everyone, Blake O'Rulian alongside the best bantamweight in the state, Joel Haro. It's always special to be back where this whole thing started, Joel.
Blake, I am really excited to be back. It's been a long time since I've got to call some fights with you. So being back down here in Price for an exciting card, I'm really excited. Really excited to be here.
What a show we have in store. In broadcasting school, they tell us don't bury the lead, so I'm not going to. Co-main event is what is filling these seats here tonight. Jackson DeGray, Nasir Davis, the pound-for-pound clash between number 1 and number 2 for the bantamweight strap.
Man, this fight is exciting. Not just the fight in itself, but you got champ versus champ. Like if there is a BMF title in Utah for the amateurs, this would be it. You know what I mean? They got two good champions fighting tonight, so I'm really excited to see that fight. I have trained with Jackson DeGray. I do love watching Nasir fight. He's a very good counter striker. Jackson DeGray comes forward too, so I'm really excited to see the fireworks that happen in the co-main event tonight.
Now to put some context onto this, Jackson DeGray with the chance to become the amateur with the most title defenses of all time for the promotion. On the other side, Nasir Davis could be the first ever double champion in the promotion's history.
That's going to be really exciting if it happens, man, and I feel like he's ready to become that double champ.
Lots to look forward to on the main card, available now for purchase at fiercefightingchampionship.com. So much to look forward to, but we got 4 coming up here on the prelims live on YouTube. Without further ado, let's kick it inside for the first time tonight to the man in the blue suit, Jackson Hoops.
Fierce fans, for those of you streaming this event live on the Fierce Fighting Championship YouTube channel, and for those of you in attendance here inside the Carbon County Event Center in Price, Utah, welcome to the Fierce Fighting Championship Challenger Series. Tonight's event is sanctioned by the Pete Suazo Athletic Commission with Executive Director Scott Bowler in attendance. Dr. Nate Finnerty is also cage side this evening, along with timekeeper Brittany Jones. The judges for the evening are Stephen Farragher, Richard Montanez, and Dan First, and the referee in charge when the fights begin will be Dave Selyusted. Fierce fans, we are moments away from the first fight of the evening, but at this time we ask that you please rise and remove your caps as we honor our country with the singing of our national anthem, and we will have a flag displayed right there on the screen. And I'll bust this out for you. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. All right, fierce fans, we are now ready for what you all came here to see. 18 mixed martial artists, 9 total fights, including 1 title fight for 1 Fierce Fighting Championship evening. So we have to let the fighters in the back know that you are here. Put your hands together and make some noise! Yes, sir. If I can get the cards to separate here. Our first fight of the evening is sponsored by Carbon County Vape Company, located in Price, Utah. They are the first and only vape shop in Carbon County, providing only the best for all of your vape and tobacco needs at the most competitive price around at Carbon County Vape Company. Fierce fans, make some noise and welcome our very first 2 fighters to the cage, Marco Gomez and then Isaac Libert.
First of 5 tonight, here is Marco Gomez. Joel, when talking to him, he told me he believes falling back on his mental fortitude will be an aid in his success.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see Marco come out. I know he's ready, and we're going to expect a good fight.
One of 5 debuters on this card is Marco Gomez. Coming out of World Martial Arts, as you see on your screen, has not competed since I've been calling fights for Fierce. A new gym, a new name out of it as well up in Kaysville.
Yeah, it's going to be, it should be interesting to see his preparation, and I did see him on social media. He has been training hard, so I'm excited to see his fight.
Marco Gomez training a little over a year, but no combat sports precede that time frame. Told me that as he acquired more intangibles, he realized that he wanted to take a fight, but those butterflies are unlike anything else, Joel.
Yeah, first fight jitters they can get you. They can get you, man. But he looks very calm and ready, and that's what you got to do under this pressure of, fighting. You just have to stay calm, and I feel like the calm will win the war.
It's what he said was a key to his success as he enters the cage for the very first time. Again, Marco Gomez out of World Martial Arts in Kaysville, Utah. Number 1 of 5 Agema fighters waiting in the wings here is Isaac Libert. Joel, a friend of Andrew Mickelson's whose interest was piqued following Mickelson's fight back at Fierce Challenger Series 2. Fast forward 2 years and plenty of prep time, he makes his inaugural walk to the Fierce cage.
He's making his first walk, and he's coming out of a great gym. I've trained with him before, and he's definitely ready for his debut. It's going to be awesome to see his hard work come out and see how he does well in this fight.
Yeah, he told me he looks to keep the fight standing, but well-equipped for grappling if it's engaged. A 5-match unbeaten streak dating back to August of 2022 in jiu-jitsu tournaments. He also donned a gold medal in his last jiu-jitsu tournament. Excited to see if the striking plays out or if it's the grappling side of things.
I feel like with his game plan, I feel like he may be trying to get the fight down to the ground, and we'll see a good grappling match here.
Again, a friend of Andrew Mickelson. He said he saw Andrew had a black eye from training, and that's what kind of got the wheels turning for him. I'm curious of the entire story of that, how Andrew Mickelson got the black eye, but Isaac Libbert nonetheless enters the cage for the very first time. Again, the first 5 fighters making the walk tonight, all debuters. Just about ready to kick things off at Fierce Challenger Series 11. Without further ado, we kick it back inside to Jackson Hopes.
Fierce fans, this fight is sponsored by Carbon County Vape Company. This fight is an amateur welterweight bout scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. And when the fight begins, the referee in charge will be Dave Selyusad. Introducing the first fighter, fighting out of the blue corner, making his amateur debut. He stands 5 feet 6 inches tall and weighed in at 169 pounds. Fighting out of World Martial Arts, hailing from Ogden, Utah. Fierce fans, make some noise for Marco Gomez. And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, also making his amateur debut. He stands 6 feet 1 inch tall and weighed in at 168 1/2 pounds. Fighting out of Agima Jiu-Jitsu and MMA, hailing from Salt Lake City, Utah, by way of Stevensville, Michigan. Fierce fans, make some noise for Isaac Libbert.
First of 18 tonight is Isaac Libbert in the red gloves. Following suit is Marco Gomez in the blue. This amateur welterweight bout to kick off Fierce Challenger Series 11 is brought to you by Carbon County Vape Company, your local spot for your vaping needs. ID is required for entry. Carbon County Vape Company, an official sponsor of Fierce FC. Forgot to get some of the intangibles out of the way, however. A 7-inch height edge flies by way of Libbert. Coming into this one. Top of the first frame, Dave Selyusad, the busy third man in the cage tonight. All 9 assignments for him here in Price tonight.
Marco doing really well, utilizing his kicks, switching from the body to the head, or from the leg to the body. Now mixing it in with some hands.
Some stiff striking early by Gomez, connecting downstairs and upstairs. Couple of looping shots on both ends, Joel.
Oh, absolutely.
Gomez attacks the body. Libbert answers back with his own.
I'd like to see Libbert start using his jab to set up those kicks and start setting up his combinations. He's stalking him down, which is really well. But utilizing that jab, I feel like would help him set up more heavier shots.
Isaac Libbert, 2 years clocked in with the GEMA, 1 year of that with the fight team, prepping for this one. Gomez extends, misses. Libbert capitalizes on it.
Libbert starting to find that right hand. Marco doing a really good job at staying true to his kicks. I'd like to start seeing him put them together as he starts setting things up.
Isaac Libbert starting to make him count up a little bit. Effective as Gomez backs up.
Good left hook landed there from Libbert.
Down is Gomez. That will do it. Isaac Libbert locates the sweet spot here tonight. Dave Selyusad calls it off. Little bit of confusion. Dave Selyusad bringing in the doctor, but did call it off.
Hey Dave,
and I don't know if it's
on those tunes, DJ.
I don't know if it's picking up in the ambient mic, but we do have a table of Marco Gomez's fans right next to our ambient mic, so that is picking up readily clear. The fight did end.
I was going to say, is the fight over for sure?
A little bit of an anticlimactic finish, Joel. I don't know if I've ever seen a fight end then people don't know if it's over.
Yeah.
But it does seem like the chapter is closed on the debut for Marco Gomez and Isaac Libbert.
Yeah, I think everyone's feeling the same right now. But hey, sometimes those things happen. So looks like we're going to bring the winner here to the middle. We'll get the official decision.
Getting it done in the debut. A couple of technical difficulties in the broadcast booth. Again, a little bit of a confusing finish there, but nonetheless, we are about to make this one official as we will wrangle the fighters and go inside to Jackson Hoops.
Fierce fans, referee Dave Selya said it's called to stop this contest at 1 minute and 50 seconds of the very first round, declaring the winner by TKO out of the red corner, Isaac Libbert.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with your winner, Isaac Libbert. Isaac, mission successful, man. How was the debut for you?
It was definitely the craziest thing I've ever done, but it was super fun.
2-minute fight. How did you feel in those 120 seconds?
I did not know it was that long, so I don't know. It just kind of I had Dane and Court in my corner and just listened to them, and they know what they're doing, so it kind of helps.
Started out pretty active early was Marco, but you're able to kind of weather the storm and then get your offense going. Was there anything specific that you caught that kind of you were able to dial in so that you could start capitalizing on offense?
I knew he was going to come out hard. My plan was just to kind of get a feel for him, and then Court and I were working some like strike, pull, strike kind of stuff, so we saw opening for that, and that kind of opened things up. So
1-0 now. What's the plan for the future?
just keep training. Got to fight again. So.
Any sponsors, anyone you want to give a shout out to, a thank you?
Yeah, shout out to all my teammates at Agima, Dane, Court, Amy, everybody that made this possible. My friends and family who are watching on the stream, and then my beautiful wife, Sadie, is over there. I couldn't do it without them.
Well, congratulations to you. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Isaac Libbert.
He has found his stride right now, and he is looking sharp.
Back inside the Carbon County Events Center, and scan the QR code on your screen right now for access to Fierce FC's digital program. Get the inside scoop on every fighter making the walk tonight, as well as additional information on future shows. Blake ruling alongside my man Joel Haro for this one. And Joel, a fast finish for Isaac Libbert. He looked dominant in there.
That was a really good performance from both guys. You know, it was awesome to see both of them land their shots, have their moments in the fight, and Isaac comes away with the win with a very impressive finish.
Plenty of prelim coverage still to come. With that, we'll kick it back inside to Hoops.
Fierce fans, our next fight of the evening is sponsored by Market Express. As a locally owned and operated convenience store here in Price, Utah, they offer top-tier gasoline and premium diesel, along with fresh food made daily and truck and carpool parking at Market Express. Fierce fans, make some noise and welcome Callan Curtis and then Dalton Moon to the cage.
Well, the Price crowd backing their local Callan Curtis. Joel, 1 year ago, this guy sat amongst the masses here in Price, Utah, watching Fierce Challenger Series 6. It was that event last July that piqued his interest. Now we present him here in his amateur debut.
Hey, that's great to hear. You know, everyone's journey starts similar like that, and I'm excited to see him here in the cage.
Yeah, with blank slates under their records, what can we expect stylistically? Callan Curtis boasted a legion of wrestling accolades growing up, including regional wins and top 5 placements in numerous state tournaments. Very excited to see the wrestling on display for him. Definitely.
I'm excited to see the wrestling he brings to the table. I know he comes from Fierce MMA, and I know they're good grapplers there as well. And, you know, I'm excited to see what he's done in the striking department here tonight.
Again, Callan Curtis, been a familiar face at that Fierce gym here locally. It was in support of Mason Sorensen versus Michael Eastwood that really piqued his interest to make the walk. And again, crazy enough, 12 months later, same venue, same place for him.
Man, what a story! What a story! It's quite the story there for him. And I'm like I said, I'm sure everyone here in the arena here tonight is really excited to see him support one of their local fighters here.
Talking more about Curtis and his grappling chops, stood atop the podium at a jiu-jitsu tournament back in April. Interested to see what the submission offense looks like for him as well.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to that, especially with his wrestling background as well. So it's always good to see the wrestling and jiu-jitsu be put together.
Nearly a year in the room draws in Dalton Moon. Joel, there was endless excitement from the Agema team when Moon was announced on this card. Got us all actively anxious for a forecasted all-out barn burner with Callan Curtis.
Yeah, this is going to be really exciting. He also comes from another really well-credited gym, and we should be able to see some fireworks tonight in this match.
Dalton Moon originally slated to face Almafale Ali, but following a drop-off on the card, Curtis and Moon agreed to meet in the middle at 140 pounds. With that, let's get the intangibles out of the way. Here's your tale of the tape, powered by Rush Hydro. Callan Curtis opposite Dalton Moon. Curtis, the older man by 1 year. The 3-inch edge in height flies by way of Curtis. No issues on the scale for either party, coming in well under the 140-pound rim. And blank canvases on both sides of the cage. With that, we'll send it back inside to Hoops in a matter of moments. We had a mishap on that graphic. I apologize for that. Callan Curtis tipped the scales yesterday at 138 pounds. Dalton Moon, 1 pound heavier at 139 pounds. We apologize for that mishap. Dalton Moon still getting checked out by the commission. 11 months at Agema, 9 months with the fight team. And again, Joel, so many people looking forward to seeing what he can put on display. Endless excitement from the masses as well. Dalton Moon opposite Callan Curtis. Second of 4 here on our prelims. Back inside, we go to Hoops.
Fierce fans, this fight is sponsored by Market Express, and this fight is an amateur 140 pounds catchweight bout scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. And when the fight begins, the referee in charge will be Dave Selyestead. Introducing the first fighter, fighting out of the blue corner, making his amateur debut. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall and weighed in at 138 pounds. Fighting out of Fierce MMA, hailing from Price, Utah. Fierce fans, make some noise for Callan Curtis. And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, also making his amateur debut. He stands 5 feet 6 inches tall and weighed in at 139 pounds. Fighting out of Agema Jiu-Jitsu and MMA, hailing from Eldon, Missouri. Fierce fans, make some noise for Dalton Moon.
First rep for Dalton Moon in the red gloves. On the other side is Callan Curtis, who will swing with blue. This amateur 140-pound catchweight bout is brought to you by Market Express, Price's locally owned and operated convenience store, tagged with top-tier gasoline and premium diesel. Market Express, an official sponsor of Fierce FC.
Both guys looking ready.
Dalton Moon told me it's a kill or be killed mentality here tonight, expecting deep waters as we get straight into the action.
Going right to a jumping guillotine there off the takedown attempt. Looks like he might have that locked up.
Dalton Moon already looking to make quick work. Tied underneath the chin, but Curtis privy to it as he tries to step over.
Great defense against that guillotine there.
Joel, that was tight.
That was really tight. Now he's got to start working, getting his head out there, head out from under there, and keep that pressure up against the fence. Looks like they're wrist fighting there, hand fighting.
Highlighted in the scouting report for Callan Curtis to wrestle. Dalton Moon separates and tries to throw some action upstairs. Back in on the takedown, Moon immediately back to the guillotine.
Back to that guillotine immediately.
Corner of Curtis calling for that Von Flue choke. Gonna need to step that leg over, Joel, but not a bad idea if Dalton Moon's gonna keep throwing up those guillotines.
Definitely not a bad idea. That's a very good defense off the guillotine, and he did well at that defense there. Keeping that shoulder pressure there in the jaw.
Just about the halfway point of round one. Curtis, a couple of takedown attempts and now moving to mount. Moon in a world of trouble here. He started off hot with that tight guillotine. The second one, not as much.
Yeah, I'm hoping it didn't burn his arms out. Keeping that dominant position there is Curtis. Looking to position to start causing damage. Landing some heavy shots on top.
Moon frantic on the bottom, finds a reversal.
Good reversal there from Moon.
Back to the standing we go. Moon straight into the action, head hunting with the small windows he gets before Curtis starts to drape back on top of him.
Curtis looking at possibly a guillotine there.
Nice
Landing
knee up
some
the
knees there.
Dalton Moon looked for a quick protest of a low blow. But we play on here, a foot stomp by Curtis.
Good knee attempt there from Moon. Good knee from Curtis in the clinch.
Stiff, echoing shot straight up the breadbasket in favor of Curtis.
Curtis wanted to get the fight back to the ground.
Another flooring for Curtis. Moon finds himself on the bottom.
Curtis looking to pass. Curtis doing a really good job of keeping control on top and landing some heavy shots when he does throw.
10-second clapper did go, waning seconds here of the first frame.
What a first round, Blake.
Interesting one, back and forth, but mostly in favor of Curtis. But Dalton Moon, he just doesn't have the opportunity. Curtis is all over him.
For sure, yeah. I mean, Moon's definitely had his moments in the first round as well, especially with that guillotine in the first few seconds. But yeah, Curtis has taken over and utilizing his wrestling very well.
We see Moon looks a little bit gassed, a lot of energy expenditure trying to peel him off.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. I wonder how his gas tank's going to be throughout the rest of the fight going into the second round.
Dana Aristizabal as well as UFC welterweight Court McGee in the corner of Dalton Moon. 5 Agima fighters on this card. Obviously, Isaac Libbert already making that walk. Dalton Moon, the second of that crew. Joel, if you're speaking and you're in Court McGee's shoes right now, what are you saying to Dalton? Because this is the first time he's ever done this. Through the first 3 minutes, this is all brand new to him.
Sure. I would say don't rush your shots. Don't rush your takedown attempts. Don't rush your strikes. You know, get your wind back a little bit. You can tell he's breathing heavy a little bit. So, you know, recover as quickly as possible, opening in the rounds, and don't give up any takedowns.
Top of the second round we go. 2 more fights on the prelims following this one.
Good counter kick there off the right hand.
Curtis cracks the body. Able to close the distance once again.
Finds a single and sweeps him down.
Dalton Moon active on bottom. Little bit of separation, but Curtis right back on top. Suffocating pressure by the fighter out of Price, Utah.
Yeah, and that wrestling pressure is no joke either. Looking to pass as Curtis, trying to get to more dominant position to start raining down some punches. He's doing good isolating that hip there.
Dalton Moon showed on the screen just a moment ago, but he's breathing heavily out of that mouth. Just trying to find some air and some space to get some offense going as Curtis passes to the top.
But Dalton's not out of this fight yet, Blake. He's still causing some movements, and he's almost out right now.
Able to scramble. Curtis, keen to it, and still finds himself on top.
Good counter wrestling there from Curtis.
Another note about this fight, again, we talked about it earlier, but these two guys weren't scheduled to fight each other as of 3-4 weeks ago. This is relatively new
Good
for
right
both.
hand there from Moon.
As Moon separates and attacks the chin of Curtis. Back to that
Back to
wrapped
that
up guillotine.
You can hear his corner tell him to use it to sweep. We'll see if he goes for that attempt. Sits up to readjust. We'll see if he can pull it off here, Blake.
This is a solid spot for Moon. His best look since that opening exchange.
Definitely. And Curtis does a good job getting out.
Popping out the head. Moon now pulling this out of his grappling bag of tricks. Looks like a rubber guard attempt, Joel, but tough to pull that off in MMA.
Tough to pull that off, especially when you're flat on your back. You know, if you're not that flexible, see how he readjusts to his right hip. If he would have done that when he went for that rubber guard, he would have been able to get that leg in front a little bit easier there, I believe.
Also could just be a really flashy triangle as well, potentially, but I don't think that's what it was.
Absolutely.
In case anyone wants to talk about that after the fact. I've been DM'd a few times. Moon working that butterfly guard on the left side. Dave Sellistead going to separate the two fighters. No nonsense from Dave Sellistead. A little bit of work going on down there, but wants to keep this one standing as Callan Curtis has been successful on the takedown prowess thus far.
I'd like to see Dalton Moon start circling off the cage a little bit. That's when those takedowns are really coming into play to this fight, when Dalton has his back against the cage. If he can circle off the cage a little bit more, I feel like round 3 could definitely be his.
You're saying more movement, just giving not a stagnant target for him to try to hit.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, his stand-up's looking really good tonight. If he just circles off the fence there a little bit more, stays moving a little bit more so he's not a sitting duck to get taken down, I think that could really turn the tables here in this third round.
In terms of Callan Curtis, he's batting 1,000 right now, Joel.
Yep, he is batting 1,000 right now, Blake. He looks like he's in really good shape. He's got a good gas tank. He doesn't look like he's too tired to go into this third round. He looks good.
Impressive thus far. I wish we had some live stats so we could see how many takedowns he has attempted and been successful in. We'll obviously have it for the future.
Absolutely.
But very, very impressive thus far. On the other side, Dalton Moon, like you said, there's still plenty of light in this fight for him to get it done. 3 minutes still to go.
Oh, absolutely. He's not out of this fight. You know, he should be going into this third round with a little bit more urgency for movement, you know, and because his strikes are landing. His right hand's finding a home. He landed 2 good solid shots in this last round. We'll see what this third round brings.
As mentioned at the top of the fight, Dalton Moon did expect deep waters. We are getting that right now in our second prelim bout of the evening. Second of 9 here tonight. Top of the third round we go. Dalton Moon, a couple of feints to the leg kick. I like seeing that, Joel.
Oh, I definitely love seeing leg kicks too, Blake.
Attack to the body, the inside trip
Looks
successful
like he might
for
have
Curtis.
a triangle attempt coming. Like to see Dalton grab his right shin, pull that over. Let's see here. Trying to set that up. I'd like to see Dalton use his left hand to grab his right shin and fold that. There we go, right there.
Bring it further across that back, right?
Yeah, bring it further across the back. But he's in a good position right now. If he can keep that, not burn his legs out, he's going to lock it up.
Moon still a little bit shallow, but it seems to be affecting the offense of Curtis. We hear the corner of Curtis right next to the broadcast booth giving instructions. Steve Ergel got a handful of fighters on this card here tonight. But Callan Curtis,
looks like Dalton might switch the arm lock there.
Closely flirting with an escape, but now needs to exit the elbow, able to escape. And with that, Dalton Moon's best look is of the past. Curtis effective back up top.
I'd like to see Dalton start trying to create some sort of movement here. He's pretty heavy up on his back. If he could just tripod up, I feel like Curtis will fall forward.
Under 90 seconds to decide this one in what has clearly been Curtis domination in terms of the grappling department. One hook in for the prize fighter.
Good control here from Curtis. Looking for that rear naked choke. Dalton might be able to get out.
Moon seems to have his wits about him. Still defensively sound. Curtis on bottom, in control. Moon looking to escape. Some solid control by Curtis in the waning moments of this third and final round, Joel.
Yeah, I was going to say, very good control, back control there that he's got. Sticking to him tight. Good fight from both of these guys. See if Dalton has a little bit left in him to start getting up. Reverse the position.
Final moments, finishing up as it looks like we will point towards the scorecards. As the 10-second clapper goes, all Callan Curtis through 9 minutes, primarily due to the control time, Joel.
Absolutely, I'm going to go with Curtis on this one as well, just because of the control time. Really good control, really good ground game that he's got. Did really well catching strikes for those takedowns as well, catching those body kicks and those leg kicks. Good job from both gentlemen, though. Dalton had really good moments in the fight with the striking, and, you know, back to the drawing board. Nothing to hang your head about.
Well, we are subject to the scorecards, but it seems as though many people have it on deck for Callan Curtis. On the other side, Dalton Moon. Disappointing way to close it out, but he did have some big moments, Joel.
He had some very big moments in there. He almost had, especially in the third round, he had that triangle attempt. I thought he was going to finish it there, you know. But then I slowly saw him. I saw him slowly start going to the arm lock attempt off of the triangle, and Calvin did a really good job getting out of both of those submissions.
Still tallying up scores are the judges and Jackson Hoops. Callan Curtis right up against the broadcast booth. Got to be exhausted after all that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Doesn't look too tired, though.
Seems to be ready for potentially a post-fight interview. But a move to 1-0 with an impressive 9 minutes of MMA cage time backing him. That's going to be nice for the sophomore slate if he chooses to do so.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That was a good fight. Looking forward to seeing him back.
All right. It looks like with the scorecards, here is Hoops.
Fierce fans, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. The judges score this contest 29-28, 30-27, and 30-27 for your winner. Out of the blue corner, Callan Curtis!
All right, I'm here with Callan Curtis. Callan, what a performance that was, man. How you feeling right now?
Fantastic, man. Feels great just to be out here. Put a lot of hard work to be here. It's nice for it to pay off.
Let's talk a little bit about that hard work. You just did 9 minutes nonstop offensive grappling. How does the body feel? How was the cardiovascular? And what was the training camp like getting you primed for something like this?
The training camp was a lot worse than this. That's probably why I won. But I feel great. I could go another 3 rounds.
Was there anything about Dalton that surprised you?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a little bit easier to fight, but looks can be deceiving. I'm glad that I got the chance to fight him. Yeah.
You caught him a lot on strikes, which led to the takedowns. Was that something that you guys kind of planned for at Fierce MMA?
Yes. Yeah, practicing strikes to shots, shots to strikes. The strikes to shots really paid off, so.
Well, 1-0 now. What's the plan for you moving forward?
I have no idea. I guess it's just go by the ear kind of thing. We'll see.
Cannot wait for it. Any sponsors, any family, friends that you want to give a shout out to and a thank you to?
Yeah, TFZ, my sponsor, thank you. All my friends and family that are here right now. all my friends that are watching online. Love and miss all you guys.
You did a fantastic job. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Callan Curtis.
Go ahead, DJ J.
You are now in the presence of a king.
Tastes like an almond joy. Freaking good. Bomb.
Back in Price, Utah. Welcome in, everyone, to Fierce Challenger Series 11. Blake O'Rulean alongside my man, Joel Haro. Joel, 2 really solid fights thus far. Dalton Moon and Callan Curtis go to the decision.
Man, that was a really good fight. I really enjoyed watching both gentlemen fight. They both did good things tonight. You know, it sucks that you have to pick a winner and a loser, but you know, it happens. It has to happen. But you know, both guys got to keep their head up.
Cannot wait for it. Still 2 fights to go here on these prelims live on YouTube. The main card is available right now for purchase at fiercefightingchampionship.com with some of the highest touted prospects in the entire state on display in a few hours. With that, we'll kick it back inside to bring out the next 2 with Jackson Hoops.
Fierce fans, our next fight of the evening is sponsored by RNA Market and Deli. They are a small family-owned local grocery store with a full butcher counter and bakery. Located in Helper, Utah, they have the best products around. Be sure to stop in for a great deli platter, some fresh baked cookies, and delicious organic produce at RNA Market and Deli. Fierce fans, make some noise and welcome Parker A. Beglin and then Vincent Vanisi to the cage.
All right, 5th and final debuter here tonight is Parker A. Beglin. Joel, north of 1 year prep time, priming for a lifelong goal. Lots to take in for the debuting 21-year-old.
Oh, definitely. After a year of training, I feel like that's a good amount of time to start thinking about fighting as well, if that's what your goals are, you know. And I'm excited to see him fight tonight and have a good fight.
Yeah, and so I was talking to Jordan Buscarini, who is a local radio personality as well as a reporter here in the area. Parker A. Beglin went to school just down the road at Emory High School. Former discus thrower, a sprinter, a right tackle for the Emory High School football team. Also wrestled up at 285 pounds. Though he was undersized, he still found so much success.
Blake, he's got that dog in him. He's got that dog in him. I'm excited to see him bring out that dog tonight. 1-1
in jiu-jitsu competition is A. Beglin. His lone win was by a steep point advantage, which you got to think the wrestling is going to be on display here in this one.
Oh, absolutely. I believe that wrestling is definitely going to be on display, and I think that's going to be his key to victory for tonight.
Parker A. Beglin, 0-2 with Empire MMA, or I apologize, Empire MMA 0-2 this year under the Fierce banner. He'll take on that task of snapping that cold streak here tonight.
I'm looking forward to see it. He's got the wrestling pedigree, so let's check it out.
First feeling inside the cage for Parker A. Beglin as he awaits Vincent Vanisi waiting in the wings. Two years away, but back to bang is Vincent Vanisi. Joel, just one fight in 5 years, but banking in hours at one hit leads into amateur fight number 4 for the light heavyweight.
Fight number 4 coming up, and you know, he's been taking some time off, just focusing on his craft, and I'm excited to see what he brings to the table tonight. One hits, one credible gym out here, and I expect a good fight.
First walk in over 2 years. We'll see if any ring rust resides, but certainly not banking on it is the man out of One Hit MMA. Very excited to see how he fares in this one.
Absolutely. I'm gonna touch on the ring rust subject since you brought it up. I don't believe it's real. I think it's just depending on your training and how intentional you are with your training. Ring rust does not exist, and he comes from a really good, credible gym, and I don't think we'll see any ring rust tonight, Blake.
All right, before this bout beckons, let's go ahead and pull up that tail of the tape presented by Rush Hydro. Vincent Vanisi facing off against Parker A. Beglin. Vanisi, the older man by 4 years. The 4-inch height edge will favor Parker A. Beglin. Both fighters tipping the scales at the exact same weight of 204.5. Vanisi with a record of 1-2. A. Beglin again to make his debut here tonight. Vincent Vanisi, last win was his debut back in February of 2019, 1,974 days ago. Looking to snap that right now, Joel.
Yep, it's going to be exciting to see. I know he's been working hard, so I'm excited to see a really good fight, especially from both these guys.
Obviously, out of One Hit, a friend of Zach Partridge, a teammate as well, told me that he is biting at the chomping at the bit. I apologize. To make this walk, and with that, back inside the cage for the first time in 2 years is Vincent Vanisi.
He looks ready to go, Blake.
Nice. All right, now for fighter intros, here's Jackson Hopes.
Fierce fans, our next fight is sponsored by RNA Market and Deli, and this fight is an amateur light heavyweight bout scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. And when the fight begins, the referee in charge will be Dave Selyestead. Introducing the first fighter, fighting out of the blue corner, making his amateur debut. He stands 6 feet 2 inches tall and weighed in at 204 1/2 pounds. Fighting out of Empire MMA, hailing from Cedar City, Utah. Fierce fans, make some noise for Parker the Princess A. Beglin. And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, holding an amateur record of 1 win and 2 losses. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall and weighed in at 204 1/2 pounds. Fighting out of One Hit MMA, hailing from Salt Lake City, Utah. Fierce fans, make some noise for Vincent Vanisi.
Long layoff for Vincent Vanisi, sporting the red gloves. Empire MMA's Parker A. Beglin answers in the blue. This amateur light heavyweight bout is brought to you by RNA Market. Food in the end is our tradition. RNA Market, an official sponsor of Fierce FC. Parker A. Beglin sporting the pink shorts. I kind of like it, Joel.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Blake, I'm surprised you when you announced him, you mentioned the blue tape. Ooh, those are some heavy shots coming in.
Vanisi turns on the jets to start. A. Beglin closes the distance.
Looking for those takedowns there, Blake. Parker staying calm though.
Vanisi attacked the body with precision early,
landing two good right hands there.
Vanisi lightning fast as he answers upstairs.
Landing really heavy shots, Blake.
A. Beglin attempts the takedown, unable to locate Vanisi. Back to the center we go. Back to the body is Vanisi.
Yeah, he's landed 2 good shots, hard shots to the body. Almost a left hook there to the liver side.
Vanisi now headhunting a little bit more, turning on the gas as he attacks the body once again.
I like what he's doing. He's going to the body, going right back to the head. You know, keeping his opponent guessing. And those shots are heavy, Blake. I can hear him land through these headphones I'm wearing.
Couple of light heavyweights again weighing in yesterday at 204.5. Certainly picked up some LBs overnight as A. Beglin closes the distance, and now
and on a single. Parker fighting for that takedown up against the fence, keeping that good pressure into it. uses that pressure to take him down. Then beautiful job.
Beglin looks to slow down the fight a little bit as he floors Vanisi.
Lands a good heavy shot there.
Under a minute to go, round one. Since it is on the ground, Beglin, quite the wrestler, but Vanisi, both of his losses have been by submission. There has been a lot of talk about his jiu-jitsu reps in the recent years. We'll have to see where the improvements have been made, as no submission threat has been posed just yet.
No, not yet. Parker doing a really good job staying on top and making Vanisi pay for being on bottom.
Beglin peppering those shots, but they're not necessarily hitting. They're kind of going right by the side of the head, Joel, as we have a kind of a prime angle right here in the broadcast booth.
Sure, they're landing a little bit on the head, but he's getting good shots landing the body when he does go down to the body. Landing good shots now here to the head to finish out the round.
Beglin starts the downhill trend, and with that, seems like the tides might be turning a little bit late there in round one, Joel.
The tides might be turning. However, we are going to be starting round two on the feet. So if Parker can close that distance early, take him down, and control him, I think that's going to be key for him.
All dominance from Vincent Vanisi through the first half, and a little bit of extra change as well in that first round.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, both guys are landing good shots, but if you're looking at Parker, he's got a goose egg under his right eye. So to avoid having that get any worse, I feel like he needs to close the distance pretty early here.
Parker Beglin, certainly a solid first round for him late. Vincent Vanisi, void of head coach Aldo Regia out of One Hit MMA, still plenty of solid right-hand man to rely on.
Both men looking ready for round two. Here we go.
Second round of a possible three. Back to the action we go.
No touch of gloves still.
Locking up the cage tonight is taking a little bit longer than usual. We've added some additional security to it since the last time we had a show, for anyone that might remember that.
Oh yeah, I heard about that, Blake.
Parker Beglin landing early here at the top of the second round.
There's a beautiful shot
hunts.
there. Good defense there by Vanisi. Parker looking for the double, and he gets it. Nice double leg off the fence there.
Parker Beglin pops off the Price crowd as he sends Vanisi back to the canvas. You know, faced so much adversity early, but we are really seeing the athletic ability of this guy.
Absolutely. You're starting to see Parker get into his zone and feeling more comfortable in this fight now that he's on top, and now he's gotten the confidence of taking him down.
Getting the ball rolling a little bit is Beglin. Vanisi trying to push him off, utilizing the cage a little bit. Joel, if you're Vanisi, main goal right now is just to get it back up, right?
Oh, absolutely. If I was Vanisi on bottom, I'd try to get up, get my back towards the fence, and utilize the fence to get back up. But easier said than done, right?
About the halfway point of round number two, all Beglin here in this second frame.
I feel like Parker's going to have to stay a little bit more busy than he is right now if he wants to keep the fight here. You know, I feel like the referee may step in and stand him up soon.
Dave Selye said was quick with the trigger earlier on with Callan Curtis. We'll have to see if he follows that trend as Vanisi looks for the reversal, able to land it.
There.
And we hear out of the corner of One Hit, position before submission for Vanisi as he looks to exit that right leg to move to mount.
Looks like Parker has got a good lockdown there on Vanisi's leg. See if he can utilize that to sweep when we get back on top here.
Beglin moving well. And like you said, Joel, staying composed in the fire. Vanisi landing a beautiful reversal to put him back on the offensive side of things. Beglin now trying to get up on a hip.
Looking to get up off his hip. Possibly a low-level single there opportunity.
10 ticks to go, round 2. As it looks like we will go to a third and final for the second fight in a row. Interesting matchup thus far, Joel. Judges' scorecards got to be scattered a little bit right now.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That's for sure. You never know how they're going to score that reversal there towards the end of the round. You know, I feel like this round was majority of Parker's round. But great job from Vanisi getting that reversal there in the last few seconds of the round.
Breathing heavily is Vanisi as he heads to the third round. He's been there once before. It was his last fight back in May of 2022. But again, like you said, Joel, you don't believe ring rust is a thing. Certainly not here for Vincent Vanisi.
I don't think it's a thing, and I think we're seeing that come to light here in this fight.
Calm, cool, and collected on the side is one hit. Looking for his first win in nearly 2,000 days. Parker Beglin giving him everything he's got, though.
Oh, absolutely. Parker's not out of this fight.
Price faithful showing up as always. Again, this is where the entire show began back in 2016. Always happy to come back to where it all started many years ago. What Fierce has grown into is quite phenomenal, but we can't forget about the people here in Price, Utah.
Oh, absolutely. I remember that first show I came out to watch, and I was out on the baseball field, in fact. You know, I think Samson Fomobout was the main event, and now we're here at the Carbon County Event Center.
Third and final round between these two light heavyweights. Back to the center we go. We saw a lot of striking output by Vanisi early. Parker Beglin been showing off some of that wrestling later on, but looks like his shoulder is compromised a little bit.
Looks like he hurt his shoulder there. Took a split second to look at his corner.
Joe looks like he's in a little bit of pain, looking over to the corners, wincing a bit. It's that left shoulder that we saw a little bit of pain on the side of Beglin.
Yeah, we'll see what's going on with it after the fight, but I feel like he's going to start using it here. Sets up that beautiful leg kick there with the hook.
Vanisi slaps one back a little bit harder. Been investing in the body and the legs a lot of this fight, Joel. Certainly showing his veteranship in this one. Again, first fight was back in 2019. Been around the gym for quite some time is Vanisi and showing it right now.
Oh, absolutely. I'd like to see him start attacking the body, throwing that right hand to the body. But Parker gets in on a good shot. Looks like he's going to take him down again.
Beglin
grabbing the fence in front of us a little bit.
Back to the well for Beglin. Vanisi trying to mute it. Beglin's corner calling for the single leg as Vanisi tries to pry him off. Scorecards are still hot with 90 seconds to go, Joel. Lots to still be thrown up for the judges to see.
Oh, absolutely. Parker's trying hard to get this takedown, sweeps out the leg and gets it.
Beglin lands it. Vanisi on bottom as he jumps to mount. A nice spot to be with about 75 seconds to go.
Now looking to cause some damage on top here.
Interested to see what prioritize off of the scorecards, but for right now, Beglin throwing some offense from the top late in round 3.
He landed one good hammer fist there, Blake, and it was a loud thud.
Selystedt giving it a good look. The Price crowd in the hand of Beglin. There it is! Parker Beglin closes things up in the debut with a local finish for the Price crowd.
Man, what a performance. Stuck to his game plan, took him down, and got the W with the TKO.
I don't know if it came through on the cans. Parker Beglin been injured since that early round. You talked about the bruise. Something is wrong with both the shoulder and the eye, but able to will a comeback and get the win late in round number 3.
Like I said, Blake, he's got that dog in him.
Parker Beglin back against the wall, but gets it done in the debut. Going to see if we can get the replay. If we don't have it now, we will hopefully have it for, here it is, presented by Rush Hydro. Joel, it's all yours.
All right, he's settled in mount, now landing hammer fist. And, referee Dave Selly said it, called a stop to it. Classic mount position, ground and pound.
Impressive showing by Parker A. Beglen. He is going to advance to 1-0 in what was an all-out brawl between the two light heavyweights. With that, we are just about ready to wrangle fighters, and we will kick it inside to Hoops.
Fierce fans. Fierce fans, referee Dave Selya said it's called a stop to this contest at 2 minutes and 16 seconds of the third round, declaring the winner by referee stoppage due to strikes out of the blue corner, Parker the Princess A. Beglen.
Parker, right over here, man. Parker, congratulations. What a showing that was. That was an all-out brawl. How do you feel after 9 minutes, or just about 9 minutes of action?
Tired, but good. It feels good. I've waited on a fight for a long time, so it feels really good.
How did it feel to have this Price crowd backing you here tonight? They really were pulling for you there near the end.
Yeah, it was nice for sure. I could hear them. It was very motivating.
We see the bruise under the right eye. Is your left shoulder okay? We saw at the top of round 3, it looked like you were wincing a little bit.
Yeah, it's got some problems, but it's fine.
Was there anything specific that happened or that Vincent did that caused that?
Well, I just threw a hook and it kind of came out by itself, like I've had problems with it for like years now, so it slips out sometimes.
It looks like we do have the replay, I believe. If you want to look at the screen and kind of break it down for us, what you did near the end of that fight.
Yeah, I punched him quite a bit. That's about all it is,
So for you, this fight, obviously you said you've been waiting a long time to do it. Did it kind of live up to expectation for you?
For sure. I was very anxious before I came out, and at first I was like, what am I doing? But it's definitely worth it now.
Plans to come back?
For sure.
Absolutely. Cannot wait for it. Any family, friends you want to give a shout out to and a thank you?
No, I'm okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your winner, Parker A. Beglen.
We still have another one to go. And people ask me all the time, bro, you're 37. You're training so hard. I'm going to show you guys a secret. What get me going? This is what get me going. Yoshi Hydro, developed by one of the best dietitians, Marcelo Fel. That's the first thing that I take. I've been taking after weighing. So I go to UFC and make the weight. That's the first thing that I take in recovery. And that's the thing that's going to get me going to the next session. Yoshi Hydro. I told you guys, the second round is done. Yoshi Hydro. That thing going to get you going. Make sure you get yours.
Oh, man.
Don't worry. I can take real good care of you. See? All taken care of. Works perfectly for you, right?
It's important that you are taken care of properly. At Craig Swap & Associates, we don't get paid until you win.
One call, that's all. 801-444-4444.
Scan the QR code on your screen right now for access to Fierce FC's digital program. Get the inside scoop on every fighter making the walk tonight, as well as additional information on future shows. Welcome back in to Price, Utah, Fierce Challenger Series 11, powered by Rush Hydro. Blake O'Ruling alongside Joel Haro. Joel, a couple of late finishes, some really, really fun fights through 3 already.
Really fun fights, man. We got a couple going to decision going to decision, my apologies. Going to the later rounds, getting the finish in the later rounds. That's, you see the conditioning level of these fighters that are going for the finish and keeping a good gas tank. That's what I like to see. And, it's never fun getting tired in a fight. So kudos to these fighters tonight.
Impressive showing for Parker A. Beglen. Now to headline these prelims, Alan Aragon, Randy Kopczynski at 175 pounds. I apologize. They're both waiting in the wings. Again, Fierce Fighting Championship 33 in a couple of weeks from now. Fierce Challenger Series 11. The main card available for purchase right now at that website. Looking forward to it. With that, let's go ahead and bring out Kopczynski and Aragon.
Fierce fans, our final fight of the preliminary card is sponsored by Pepsi. As the official Fierce Fighting Championship drink sponsor of the evening, Pepsi will leave you thirsty for more. Fierce fans, make some noise and welcome Randy Kopczynski and then Alan Aragon to the cage.
Well, with each walk, his skills have sharpened, and now with another debuter in his wake, here is Alan Aragon. Joel, 80% control time last time out, opposite Peyton Tomlin. Always been on the A side of this category.
Always been on the A side of the category. He comes from Agima Jiu-Jitsu, where they got really good ground game there and a good top pressure there as well. And obviously a good striking department there as well, too. I'm excited to see what Alan brings out to the table tonight and get this fight done.
Yeah, let's break down a little bit more of that showing last October. Successful on takedown, 67% to be more exact, 4 for 6 in totality, Joel. He controlled 7 minutes and 13 seconds of that last fight.
Yeah, his takedown game is really good. He's got a really good jiu-jitsu game as well. He's a blue belt in jiu-jitsu, and putting those two together, it just makes a really good combination.
Alan Aragon, I mention this almost every single time, but I'd be remiss if I didn't. A former wrestler over at Utah Tech University back in the day. We will have to see how much he can locate the outside trip on the right side, which is one of his favorite spots to initiate some offense. Again, Alan Aragon out of Agima. Already been successful here tonight. Is that gym 1-1 thus far, to be more exact. Entering the cage now is the fighter out of Agima. Back on the horse after a lengthy layoff, here is Randy Kopczynski. Joel, a former amateur boxer, competed in Golden Gloves back in the day. Excited to see the standard of striking he possesses.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see his boxing come out tonight. We're going to see the classic striker versus grappler matchup tonight, and should be a good show to see. Yeah, back in business for the first time in a long time. Last fight was 11 years ago in 2013, but holds a record of 2-1. It's going to be exciting to see what he comes to the table with tonight. I know he comes from another good gym as well out here, Fierce MMA, where they do have a really good ground game, to see what he has made the progress on since his last fight. With that, let's go ahead and pull up that tail of the tape presented by Rush Hydro for this amateur 175-pound catchweight bout between Alan Aragon and Randy Kopczynski. 24-year age differential between these two. Joel, the largest age discrepancy in the history of Fierce Fighting Championship. Aragon does have the edge in height by 2 inches, standing 5'10". Aragon tipping the scales at 172.5. Kopczynski tipping the scales at 173 flat. Aragon with a record of 1-1. Randy Kopczynski just one better at 2-1. Again, Randy Kopczynski, a local here out of Price, Utah, has not fought in over a decade. One of 3 battling in their backyard here tonight. A lot of the locals have had success so far. A lot of the locals have had success, and I'm excited to see him keep that going, keep the momentum going here for Price. Walkouts are taking longer than they typically do, Joel. I think that's okay, Blake. You got to feel your music. You got to feel the vibe a little bit and be more in the moment, Don't rush your moment. All right. Not going to rush this guy. He needs no introduction. Back in, we go to hooks.
Fierce fans, this fight is sponsored by Pepsi, and this fight is an amateur 175 pounds catchweight bout scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. And when the fight begins, the referee in charge will be Dave Selyestead. Introducing the first fighter, fighting out of the blue corner, holding an amateur record of 1 win and 1 loss. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall and weighed in at 172 1/2 pounds. Fighting out of Agima Jiu-Jitsu and MMA, hailing from Orem, Utah. Fierce fans, make some noise for Alan El Oso Aragon. And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, holding an amateur record of 2 wins and 1 loss. He stands 5 feet 8 inches tall and weighed in at 173 pounds. Fighting out of Fierce MMA, hailing from Price, Utah, by way of Kalispell, Montana. Fierce fans, make some noise for Randy, the Polish Hammer Kopczynski.
Agima's Alan Aragon in the blue gloves. Price local Randy Kopczynski proceeds in the red. This amateur 175-pound catchweight bout to headline our prelims is brought to you by Pepsi. Thirsty for more? Pepsi, an official sponsor of Fierce FC.
Blake, just observing these guys, Kopczynski's is looking big. He's got some size to him.
Weighed in yesterday at 173 pounds, certainly filled out since then. Straight into the action we go for the former Golden Gloves boxer.
Oh!
Alan Aragon finishes this one on the feet!
Is that a left hook, Blake? Holy cow.
Alan Aragon stops Randy Kopczynski in his tracks. Didn't think we'd see it with the striking. Randy Kopczynski still down, looks to now have his wits about him. But was finished quickly, Joel.
Finished very quickly. Man, what a good strike there from Aragon there.
All right, this replay is brought to you by Rush Hydro.
All right, they come in. Overextends. Ooh, comes right in with his left hand down and hits him with a good solid right hand.
Perfectly placed for Alan Aragon. We heard rumblings that he was working on the stand-up. I didn't think he could do that, though.
Man, that was amazing. One punch knockout right there.
First strike thrown. First finish for the fighter out of Agima. That's 2 in a row now for Alan Aragon.
Right on the button there, Blake.
Let's go ahead and see it one more time. So quick with it, Joel.
Looked like Kopczynski was going to come in with a right overhand. Drops that lead hand down. Perfect timing there from Aragon, landing that right hand.
Stopped in his tracks. All it takes is 1, and with that, Alan Aragon is now 2-1. Randy Kopczynski still on the stool. Got a little blood from Alan Aragon as well. Looks like Randy must have landed something early on. A lot of damage with 1 strike, Joel.
Yeah, I want to say it was a jab in the very opening seconds. I don't remember, although I'm sorry. But yeah, we got some battle wounds.
Certainly ask him about it right now as we're about to make it official with Jackson Hopes.
You guys can see the middle right here. Go ahead, Dave. Dave. Dave, we're good. Fierce fans, referee Dave Selyestead has called a stop to this contest at 11 seconds of the very first round, declaring the winner by knockout, Alan El Oso Aragon.
Alan Aragon, what a showing by you, man. 11 seconds is all it took. How you feeling right now?
Man, I feel like I'm on top of the world. That was fun. I just came out, wanted to show everybody, you know, I got little hands too. I'm not just a wrestler.
How much have you guys been working on that specifically? The first 2 fights have been all wrestling on your side, but now you get it done standing.
You know, we've been working on it a lot, just me and my coaches. I just figured, you know,
Got to be more well-rounded. You can't just wrestle everybody, you know? So, and plus, wrestling's kind of boring, dude. No one wants to watch that. I know these people didn't come to watch wrestling. What the frick is that?
Was the plan to wrestle at all, or were you going to try to keep it standing the entirety of the fight?
I mean, if he was touching me up, I was planning on taking him down, you know, just kind of where I was safe. But, you know, it always feels good to have kind of like a backup and just, you know, somewhere I can feel safe and take the fight there if I need to, so.
We see the blood on the bridge of the nose. Did he catch you there early?
Oh, yeah, he got me with that jab right off the bat. Man, I was telling Court just barely, I'm a little ticked because I haven't gotten the first punch in any of my fights. They always land that jab on me, dang it.
Well, we absolutely cannot wait for what the future holds. What is the future for you? Do you want to come back? It's been a little bit of time since we've seen you.
Speaking of the future, I want to shout out my fiance Miley over there. We're getting married in September, and yesterday was her birthday, so happy birthday, baby. I love you. I'm going to chill out a little bit while I get married, and but don't worry, you'll see me back.
Any sponsors you want to give a shout out to, family, friends?
First and foremost, I want to give a big shout out to Randy. Dude, him coming in here at his age and doing what he's doing, that's badass, dude. He's an OG. I really appreciate the opportunity to fight him. I just want to give a massive shout out. I want everybody in here to give a big hand for Randy right here. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Alan Aragon.
Fierce fans, that does it for our
He has found his stride right now, and he is looking sharp.
At his stock is as high as anyone's.
That speed, and Trent is in big trouble.
Mafileo going to work.
I just need to go. I just need to fight. I want to be like my big brother Ken.
Do you believe it? Mike Jones back-to-back first-round finishes. There's a hand from hell at Sequatu getting it done in the Maverick Center.
Wow.
All right, well, that will conclude the action-packed prelim portion of our card, but the best is yet to come as the promotion's top two amateurs tee off later on tonight. We'll move the broadcast over to pay-per-view, available for purchase right now at FierceFightingChampionship.com. For now, we'll sign off on YouTube and hope to see you in a matter of minutes. This is Fierce Challenger Series 11, presented by Rush Hydro.
Michael Lizalde and Nate Ayers. This one was a late replacement as well, and this one is so much fun. I think a lot of people are really looking forward to seeing the return of Michael Lizalde after that unsuccessful walk in May. As for Nate Ayers, his first time back in an MMA rule set in about 2 years.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was kind of interesting, right? Because so Lizalde, like, I think he's doing some right things, and he said, "Hey, if you have anything in 145, let me know." And I'll be ready. In his last fight at 155, super short notice. And this it's a little bit more of a, you know, I don't want to say fair matchup, but it's more of an even matchup, right? He's exciting. The way Nate fought his last kickboxing match reminded me a little bit of how Michael, he kind of throws caution to the wind a little bit and just lets his hands go in that kickboxing match, kind of wild. I think, and that's a lot of the same energy that Lizalde brings. So I think it's going to be pretty exciting, both at their natural weight classes of 145. Nate's been wanting to fight. We had an option for him potentially for August. That opponent chose a different option. We were looking at maybe September, and then he's getting married right around then. But he really wanted to fight. So it was like, it kind of just made sense. And I felt like we kind of owed Lizalde a featherweight fight for taking that fight against Malachi on short notice. So we got him on the card, and that's a really fun fight.
All right. Well, speaking of fun fights, how about Jason Ergel and Bane Varner? When we talk about Jason Ergel, he is the last price fighter. He's going to be the last local on the card. However, he does also kind of represent Empire MMA. I don't know who he's exactly representing coming into this. Do you know?
I think Fierce and Empire,
Okay.
I mean, I think Empire's always going to kind of be his home, but he's at Fierce now and down there in Price, and he's another one. He cross trains down at Extreme Couture as well as going up to the pit in Salt Lake City as well. So he's getting around, trying to get a lot of work in and getting a lot of bodies to work with. Him and Bane is pretty interesting. We've seen Bane look like the world beater, and then obviously he ran into a buzzsaw with Gio back in April. Man, he texted me the very next week and he said, "Get me back in there, like Zach, get me back in there." So usually I really like when there's so many fighters that when they kind of they have performances that maybe they're disappointed in or whatever. A lot of them, I shouldn't say a lot, but it happens where they kind of get into their shell and just go away. And that was not the case for Bane. He wanted to get right back in there, and I think him and Jason make a whole lot of sense. Record-wise, skill-wise, and kind of strengths and weaknesses-wise, Bane's a lot more of a, power puncher wrestler and wants to get in the pocket. And Jason, he's tall, he's long, purple belt in jiu-jitsu. Likes to fight a long striking game, and he likes to play the jiu-jitsu game on the ground. So very, very interesting contrast and styles. Should make for a fun fight.
Yeah, Bane back up at 185 pounds. He's unbeaten when he's above 170 pounds on
no kidding.
Yeah, so that'll be very interesting as we kick things off at middleweight. All right, John Henderson and Tyler Call. This is one of the more exciting ones that have been kind of flying under the radar. John Henderson, 3-1 out of Nevada. As for Tyler Call, we all know him, 4-3 out of Agema, the longtime amateur for them.
I think this is a really good fight. It's a big fight. They're both coming off of title fight losses. This fight was scheduled to be on the May Maverick Center card. Tyler Call had an injury, got pushed back to this card. The person that wins this fight, more than likely is putting themselves right back into the 185 title fight discussion because Alex Johnson has vacated that title. So we got a vacant middleweight amateur title that we need some people to put themselves in the mix. And I think we're going to see a very exciting fight. It's interesting watching John's past fights and watching his brother fight and how tough they are. They're in there to cause damage and put somebody's lights out. And Tyler is very much a very calculated, skilled striker. I would say more. He kind of, he picks his shots and he moves and uses beautiful footwork to find his shots, where John just kind of tries to create chaos and catch you in that chaos. And so another very interesting contrast of styles on the feet. And very interested to see where, what happens if and when it goes to the ground as well.
Yeah, speaking of that contrast, John Henderson, 100% finish rate. As for Tyler, like you mentioned, a little bit more calculated in his output. Very excited for that one at 185 pounds for potentially a number one contender fight.
It is a number one contender fight. It is. We have a nice little mix, but there's a lot of interesting dynamics at 185. But, Jason Ergel's right there in that mix. Bane Varner, the winner of Bane Varner, Jason Ergel. If Bane decides to stay at 185 and John happens to, get his hand raised. If John Henson, comes out with the win, you could see a Bane versus, John. You could see a Jason versus John. You could see Tyler Call versus Jason Ergel. I mean, obviously Bane and Tyler are teammates, so they want to fight each other, but maybe then Bane goes back down to 170 after a win. And so, there's a lot of fun stuff. Oh, by the way, Michael Pfeiffer with one of the more impressive wins at middleweight that we've seen. 3-1 now on a 3-fight winning streak. His only loss coming to Jason Ergel on a week's notice in a debut down in Crown. So, it's like we have a lot of guys right there that are knocking on the door wanting to fight for that empty spot. So a lot of clarity will be made after July 13th. On July 14th, I'm sure we're going to have some conversations of who, where, and when.
Man, so much to look forward to in that one. And that just precedes what is, I would say, the biggest amateur fight in the history of the state. Nasir Davis and Jackson DeGrey just got put together a couple of days ago, and history is on the line between the two top pound-for-pound fighters in the amateur rankings. Obviously, Nasir Davis looking to become the first ever double champion. As for Jackson DeGrey, looking to tie Mark Chavez for the most amateur title defenses of all time. Zach, so much flies off the film for this one. I'll just give you the floor and talk a little bit about this matchup because it is unreal.
Well, it's the fight that we tried to make originally, ironically, and we were trying to see if they wanted to meet at 130 for some sort of, pound for pound number one super fight. Nasir I think he's young, he's growing into his body, and I just don't think 125 is in his future. Both times he's fought for us for the belt, he's needed the entire 2 hours and came prepared last time to cut his hair to make 125 if needed. but he made championship weight with his hair last time. He's a big kid. He's a big flyweight, and I think going up to 135 is a good idea. So he was making the move to 135 right as Jackson feels like 125 is going to be his home as a pro, and wanted. So they just a timing thing. We just thought we missed him. We missed the fight that we all wanted, and then it was just the way it played out was just so. It was like, I think I told you, like, it's almost too perfect. Like the way it all played out. Christian Cortez, shout out to him for handling it the right way. He communicated with me. He let me know what was going on. And then he just said, when do you want me to let you know by if I'm good or not? Because I don't want to make it so Jackson doesn't get a fight by waiting too long to pull out to see if I can get over this respiratory virus. So, I appreciated him communicating. When fighters pull out over sickness, injury, whatever, communication's a big part of that process. And appreciate him and his professionalism and how Christian handled that. Made the phone call to Jackson's team, and that's when we started finding out, Nate wasn't 100%. And Nate, being the savage that he is, like, he didn't want to pull out. Like Nate didn't want to pull out. He was trying to make it through. And I thought that was a prime example of, the fighter being game, which is his job, but the coach looking out for his guy and doing the right thing by his guy. And so I think the right decision was made, that if he wasn't healthy, and then we just got the fight we all made. It just made too much sense. It was almost too easy. But I'm so grateful that it happened, because I had somebody tell me, they said they have a teammate on the card, but they said, even if we didn't have a teammate on the card, I'd drive from Salt Lake down to Price just for that fight.
I think that's kind of the sentiment for just about everyone. I personally got multiple messages from people who I didn't know were big Fierce fans going, why aren't these two fighting? And then once we actually got that fight done, it was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe this fight is happening, which just goes to show, hopefully that the masses are as excited for this as we are, because truly, I think that both of these guys have as high of ceilings of anyone in the amateur rankings, and absolutely cannot wait to see who comes out victorious in that one. And we're also going to have a little bit of a different belt. I know the design's going to be slightly different. I know we kind of talked about that. Do you want to unveil that at all?
Yeah, I mean, the belt is going to not only say the Fierce Bantamweight champion, but the belt also does say on it pound for pound #1. So, I mean, this is a unique one-time custom belt that is being made specifically for this fight. All the belts do have their weight classes on it. So this one does distinct pound for pound #1. So will their Rockwell watch. So pretty cool. We had a lot of things that had to come together and change up some things, but I think, all for the better. I think we'll see Christian, before the end of the year again, maybe a couple times. We're going back up to Idaho Falls in November. We could see them both, and then Nate will get healthy and put himself right back in the bantamweight title mix before the end of the year.
Final fighters to walk through are going to be two professionals. Ben Robinson, the 15-year pro. As for Starling Simmons on the other side, the 5-1 professional who is finally back and getting the wheels going once again. Back in August of 2021, we saw him snap his leg. He already has a win since that comeback a couple of months ago. Yeah,
I mean, Ben wanted somebody that would stand and bang with him, and I said, "Here's Starling," But man, I was the color commentator on the broadcast when Starling broke his leg against Billy Elikana. I'll never. There's just moments in sports where where you, and I'll never forget hearing the leg crack and the echo in the Maverick Center. Really interesting, but it was awesome to see. Starling almost made a comeback for us. His leg maybe wasn't totally ready yet. He got a comeback fight in is that the Dominican Republic where his fight was?
Yes, it was in the Dominican Republic in February.
Yeah, and he got a win, so good for him. He's 5-1. Dude, Starling's kind of a monster, and Ben just wants somebody to give him a chance. He was taken down and Cardi executed a really good game plan the last time that he fought, but Ben's in there to throw down and scrap. So anytime somebody wants to throw down and scrap, fireworks are going to happen. And I think it's going to be a ton of fun. We've seen Ben have some success in the Fierce cage, and then and so sometimes he just needs the right dance partner to give him that shot. So I'm excited for this main event. I think it's going to be very exciting, and I would not be surprised if it ended very quickly.
Down is Trent Miller. He has found his stride right now, and he is looking sharp.
At his stock is as high as anyone's.
Fast speed, and Trent is in big trouble.
Mafileo going to work.
I just need to go. I just need to fight. I want to be like my big brother Ken.
Do you believe it? Mike Jones back-to-back first-round finishes. There's a hand from hell, and Seek Watu getting it done in the Maverick Center.
Wow.